Hi, boys and girls. Today we are going to be reading a chapter book, and this chapter book is called Big Nate Goes for Broke. Big Nate is a series of books, so you'll find a bunch of different Big Nate books. Today we're just going to read the first chapter of this. So I'm going to go to beginning. Okay, so we have chapter 1. I don't want to brag or anything, but I happen to be president of the greatest club ever invented. Hey, Chad, meeting today. I'll be there. Our official name is the PS or Public School 38 Cartooning Club, but we call ourselves the Doodlers. We meet every Wednesday after school in the art studio and we sit around drawing comics until the custodian kicks us out. It's the best club in the whole school, by a mile. Don't believe me? Well then, check out this lineup. Nitpickers, a group of girls, and boys can join too, but let's get real, who like to knit clothes. Why, it's lame. Aren't there already enough ugly sweaters in the world? I made it myself. No kidding. Wizards and witches, for kids that are really into the whole fantasy thing. Why, it's lame. I resent that. Wizards are cool. By the way, sorry, that's just my own personal thoughts. Wearing a bath towel around the schoolyard and pretending it's a cape doesn't make you have magical powers. Magnificent, preposterous, yikes. Whatever. Problem solvers. Hey, I like this group. A bunch of eggheads hanging out at a computer doing ridiculously hard problems, math problems, for fun. Why, it's lame. Isn't it obvious? No, it's not obvious because math is crazy cool. So, just saying. I just adore calculus. Who doesn't? Spotlight Club, for kids who are convinced they're going to be recording stars. Why, it's lame. They're constantly singing in publics in the hopes of being discovered, and B, they can't sing. May I have some rice? Ooh. School Beautification Society, just like what it sounds. Why, it's lame. Apparently, beautification means painting cheesy murals on the second grade boys' bathroom. Personally, I think all these clubs sound really cool. I don't know what's his problem. See, most of those so-called clubs look about as fun as an ingrown toenail. Respectfully, I disagree, but the Doodlers rock. We only got started a few months ago. That's when it all came together. Thanks to a glob of peanut butter. Dramatic flashback. It was a typical social studies class. Mrs. Godfrey was babbling about some dead guy who wasn't good enough president to get his picture on money. Gina had already asked about 19 completely useless questions in a row. And I was about 5 seconds from falling into a coma. Then Glenn Swanson walked by my desk on the way to the pencil sharpener, and suddenly things got a lot more interesting. He had food on his face. That's nothing new. Glenn usually has enough crumbs stuck on him to feed a family of 4, but this was different. He had a glob of peanut butter the size of a hubcap on his forehead. He had no clue it was there, and neither did anybody else. It was hilarious, but I just couldn't crack up in the middle of class. Not unless I wanted She Who Must Not Be Named to go full Godfrey on me. Okay, first of all, that is a reference to Harry Potter, which this book made fun of. But look at them referencing Harry Potter. So Harry Potter, pretty cool, just saying. To go full Godfrey on me. So I did what I always do when something funny happens. Rustle, rustle, rustle. My best drawing pen. I drew a cartoon about it. Time for another edition of Celebrity Interview. Hello, I'm Tish Dishley, chatting with Glob of Peanut Butter. Hi, Tish. Tell me, Glob, how did you end up on Glenn's forehead? I was doing jumping jacks. I jumped too high, and this is where I landed. Wait, you were exercising? Yes, Tish. I've been trying to lose weight. I'm a little too chunky. Note, you'll need this secret code. Oh, look, they have a different code for each one. That's kind of neat. I guess we'll need that code later. We'll come back to it when we need it. We just got to remember. It was a good cartoon, too good to keep to myself. Psst, Teddy, look at this. Nate, Is that something you'd like to share with the rest of the class? Teachers always ask that. What was I supposed to say? Yes? Then even Glenn, who's not as smart as a bag of hammers, would have realized I was making fun of him, and that would have been a problem because whenever Glenn gets mad at people, he chases them down during recess and crushes them into a yard fence until they can't breathe. Yard fence pattern on face. I decided I wanted to keep breathing. No, I'll just put this away into my desk. Snap. Things went downhill from there. Mrs. Godfrey took my drawing and stuck it in her desk. Then she gave me a little pink slip of paper. Hello, detention, and hello, Mrs. Serzerwicki. Drawing cartoons during class. Again? Nate, that's 3 times this week. What could I say? She was right, but she didn't stop there. Mrs. Serzerwicki didn't realize it, but the next thing out of her mouth was about to change the course of cartooning history. What you need is a place where drawing cartoons is what you're supposed to be doing. Moment of genius! I have to admit it was a brilliant idea, even for me. I ran and asked Principal Nichols if I could start a cartooning club. Sounds like a great idea. And amazing doodlers have been making masterpieces ever since. Whoop, it's almost 3 o'clock. The bell's going to ring. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go, guys. Meeting time. And we all make a pit stop at our lockers, then head for the art studio. The art teacher, Mr. Rosa, is our faculty advisors. Hey kids, let's draw. Welcome, doodlers. Every club has an advisor. That's a school policy, but most clubs have one already in place. Miss Clark has always run the school newspaper. Mr. Galvin has been the advisor for the science club since the last ice age. I call it a wheel. Ooh. That's okay if you end up liking your advisor, but what if you join some club and the advisor is horrible? Then you're like that glob of peanut butter on Glenn Swanson's forehead. You're stuck. That's where the doodlers got lucky. Since we started our club from scratch, we got to decide who our advisor would be. I mean, can you imagine if we ended up with somebody like Coach John? Everybody freezes. We're all thinking the same thing. What's he doing here? Did the school switch advisors on us or something? My stomach starts churning as I picture the doodlers meeting with Coach John in charge. Draw faster, or you'll do push-ups till you puke. Finally, Francis speaks up. Where's Mr. Rosa? He asks nervously. Coach John chuckles in sort of a scary way. Did I mention the guy's a few peas short of a casserole? You can relax, Scrubs, he says. I'm just babysitting till he gets here. And here I am, comes a voice behind us. Mr. Rosa! Sorry, I'm a bit late, everyone, he says as he takes off his jacket. Then he pats Coach John on the shoulder. Thanks for covering for me, Coach. Coach John grunts something in return, then waddles out of the room. Finally, we can all exhale. Listen, gang, before we get started, there's someone I'd like you to meet, Mr. Rosa tells us as we sit down. He motions towards the door. This is my colleague, Mrs. Everett. Colleague? What's that supposed to mean? This lady doesn't work at Public School 38. Hi, doodlers, she smiles as she pulls a folder from her tote bag. I'm delighted Mr. Rosa invited me to visit with you today. I never pass up a chance to talk about cartooning. Chad raises his hand. Are you a cartoonist? She laughs. I'm a teacher who tries to be a cartoonist, but that's not why I'm here. Whoa. I thought you might like to see what another cartooning club is up to. Whoa. What? Did she say another cartooning club? We call it the CIC, the Cartooning and Illustration Club. She continues, we've got about 30 boys and girls at our weekly meetings. Speaking of girls, aren't there any in your club? Girls. I feel my face getting warm. The guys sort of still looks at each other, but nobody says anything. You know, she says cheerfully, there are plenty of girls who enjoy cartooning. And then she spreads a whole bunch of drawings on the table. Gawk. So when you gawk at something, it means you're looking at it really like wowed by it. So they're all kind of impressed by the drawings on the table, I think. My jaw just about hits the floor as I look down at them. Same with the rest of the guys. Even Arthur's ideas are as big as pie plates. He can really draw, but some of these make his stuff look like stick figures. These drawings are pro. Who did these? Teddy stammers. Why, the CIC, of course, Mrs. Everett answers. My students. There's a stunned silence. What? Students? Chad finally asks. I mean, where do you teach? I swallowed hard. I think I already know the answer, but when she says it out loud, it still hits me like a brick in the head. Jefferson Middle School. Clonk. Ooh, okay, so here is that thing. So let's see if we can figure it out. I'm gonna pause. Okay, so I've jotted down our image of what it says right there on my paper so that we can figure out what it says. Okay, I've already started. I found the eye, so that's that image. And if you go across its eye, you can pause it here and see if you can't figure out the rest. I'll leave our thing up. Okay, you can pause it again before I finish the whole thing, but so far we have I knew. So pause now, take a minute to pause because I'm about to solve the rest. So it looks like the code was I knew it. And I used this little coder to figure it out. In the future, I'm gonna just probably draw the code for you guys, and then you can go back to that page and try to figure it out. So that's the little thing that it was at the bottom. I knew it. Dun, dun, dun. And that's the end of chapter 1. Did you guys enjoy this? Let me know in the comments, and I hope you have a great day.